Hello and welcome back. Today I'm going to be digging the holes in the body for the pickups to go in. A little bit scary. Spent all this time building the body and now I'm going to have to dig some huge, great big holes in it. But here we go. So now I'm looking at what's left of the plan to ascertain where the pickups need to go. And interestingly, when we look at the side view, there is an angle, so they're the same angle as the body, which means I don't need to construct a right angle. I just need to put my template straight onto the body there and then stick it on, and I'll be able to route out the cavity, so that's going to be easier. And relatively here it's relative to this bridge line, so the scale length is essentially where the bridge goes, and we've got a chunk there which I shall measure, and then the other end pretty much touches the fretboard as it comes in. So I've taken the plastic shell from one of the pickups that I've got. I've made a mark that's exactly in the middle with my white pencil, and I can line that up with the centre line, and then the rest of it touches like that, and that's where that pickup's going to go. So what I'm going to do is take a pencil, draw around that. The other pickup's about 20mm from this bridge line, so again I can put that like that and then line it up with the mark, draw around it, and then putting them both in place, I just have a look at it from a distance and make sure that looks like it's in around about the right place, and they look pretty reasonable. And checking it again with the neck in place to make sure that all the aesthetics are okay. And okay, so it goes over the end of this tenon, but that's fine because I can route that away as well, so that we end up with a hole there. So that's good. That's pretty much ready to go. So now that I've drawn the squares on, what I've done is extended the centre lines out. So I've made that square with this line. It goes out both sides in that way. I can compare that to the squares that are on my template. I can line it up. And I've drawn, as you can see, lines down the side, so I can line that up. So I put that in place, line it up, and then what I can do is take a pencil and draw more accurately the place where I'm going to have to route out the hole. There we are, a bit rough and ready because the template doesn't quite fit, it wobbles around. That's there. So now I can drill, and I can drill out these holes here to make a bit of a space so that I can then use the router. So now it's time to drill out the waste very carefully. I've got this set to a maximum depth of 20mm, so I'll drill it out, I'll measure it, and then maybe take a bit more. So there, nearly forgot to tape over the holes. So measuring that looks to be about the right depth. So let's take out the rest of it. This middle one's more of a challenge because the drill only just about reaches. So I might be able to do the edge ones, and I might have to do another one by hand in the middle. Let's see how it goes. There we are, there's the holes. You can see obviously this one's gone right through into the hole that I cut. It lines up with the bar that's underneath. Remember, I cut that hole so we could get things in, and hopefully we can get pickups and that kind of thing, pickups, switches and all that kind of stuff down this hole once it's routed out. So now we can line up the router jig exactly with that hole now, so make sure all those lines are crossing, and then think about sticking it down. So what I've done is added some tape on here. Obviously this is curved, so it's not going to stick to all of it. I'll put super glue on the bits I think it will be on, stick it down, and let's see if that sticks. So that seems fairly solid. Now we can double check it to make sure it's all square, which is looking all right. Okay, I think we're ready to try doing the router in. But just before I got started, I noticed a slight wobble on it, so I just packed under one of the corners with a bit of paper, and that is now nice and solid. So router, well, It's the only one I've got apart from an enormous one. Set it up with a small flush cutter bit, so that will follow the template round as I cut it, and the blade cuts that way, so I'm going to follow it round in that direction. Just taking just a little bit off to start with and then slowly increasing that. So, super suit, eye protection, breathing mask and possibly ear protection as well. So that's the first few passes done. Now I need a slightly longer bit. Pop that into the rotor and we'll do a few more passes. Okay, moment of truth. Let's remove this and we'll see what we've got underneath. It's coming away quite nicely on the tape, which is good. And there we are. Something that looks a lot like a pickup hole. Now I'm going to check it against the pickup. I'm also going to make sure that it fits against the neck. Now, a bit late if it doesn't, obviously. So this is the pickup. That goes in. A little bit tight, that's all right. That goes into about the right kind of depth, so that's good. And then we'll try the neck, if that fits in. And I think that looks pretty good. Try pickup container. That all looks fine. Obviously I've got to cut away some of this tenon now so that it fits, but that is looking all right. Now I've just got to do the front one. Exactly the same, I won't bother filming it. It's just an exact copy of the one we did before. So that's the second one done. Let's get that one off as well. And there we are. Let's see how that one looks. So this one I had to pack at the sides with some more paper to stop it from rocking about. There we are. That's looking not too bad, and you can see the rather extensive looking hole, because remember I ended up cutting that hole a little bit bigger than it should be, so that's going to give me plenty of room to get stuff down there anyway. But there are the pickup cavities. So just trying the pickups in place, they all fit. The one final thing I need to do is drill a hole through here. So the pickup's going to go that way around and the wire needs to go through here, and obviously there isn't a hole, so all I need to do is find a drill with the appropriate sized drill bit, and I can drill through pretty much where the wire is here into the main body. Now the next thing to do is put the neck in place, make sure it's centered and sort of pressed in as it needs to be, and I can mark on the neck where this cavity meets the neck, because that's where I'm going to have to cut, and also I can mark on the depth so that I'll be able to cut out that shape in the neck. And then it's just a case of squaring that line across like this, and also the same on these side ones. So I'll take the square from here. Well, actually I'll do it along parallel with there, so that way I'll get the line as it is rather than anything else. So time to cut this tenon out. It feels a bit odd cutting away a big chunk of the tenon that's holding the neck in place, but needs must. So what I'm going to do is to make sure this is accurate, again, where I've got the line, make sure it's going to be square. I'm going to just mark that with Stanley the knife, and I will also do that on the sides, and then I'll get my chisel and I will cut down a little bit. So just like I did before, I'm just making that line really stand out so that the saw will clip nicely into it. There we are. I'll do that all the way around, then I'll do the cutting. So just careful with my tenon saw. And there we have the cut. Now it's not gone all the way to the line. I deliberately cut away from the line a little bit, so I can just take that down now with my my little shoulder plane if I need to. But I'll try it in the hole and we'll see what it's like. Also, when you're cutting the waist side of the line, make sure to choose the right waist side. So cutting this down now, I've cut it nearly to size with my rough saw. So I'm taking me cheap Japanese shoulder plane, and to be fair, these are an absolute pain to use. You can tell why they're cheap. And then we're just going to take off that bit by bit until we bring it down to the line, so that the pickup has actually got somewhere to sit within that space. If you're wondering what this yellow stuff is, what I've done is I've stuck a bit of paper on for now because it's a little bit loose in the gap. Not enough that I can't glue it, but just a little bit loose. When I'm putting it and taking it out, what happens is it's just a little bit loose. So I'll just put that in to tighten it up. It's not a permanent thing. So one of the final things I need to sort out before I glue it together and start to paint it, these lines up the middle, because of the building it in two halves, and I don't want that to show through because the paint is kind of translucent. It kind of shows some of this grain pattern through it, so I don't want a dirty great stripe down the middle showing up. So what I'm intending to do is to try and paint that out in a colour very similar to this and then spray it, and hopefully that won't show. So in order to do that, I need to find something that's not going to be etched away essentially by the cellulose paint. So cellulose paint tends to eat through things, so if you do it with say enamel, it will destroy the enamel underneath and it will crack up. So what I'm going to try is a little experiment with some acrylic paint. And what I've done is I've quickly painted this in some just acrylic paint I found in the art cupboard, and I'm going to then spray a little bit of cellulose. This is clear coat. I'm going to spray that on it just very quickly and then see if it eats the paint. If it doesn't, then I know I can use this sort of paint on the actual thing. Now obviously when doing spray painting, really you need to have everything masked off and all of the sort of things covered up so you don't get dust everywhere. You don't want to be breathing it in, so you need a proper mask with a proper filter in it. I haven't got that yet, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to spray it. I'm going to hold my breath, quickly spray it, and then run in the house and then let the dust settle for half an hour and come back out. So here it goes. Now looking at this test piece, this is the side with no gloss on it. This is the side with, and it doesn't seem to have done any damage to it. It just sort of hasn't curled up. It has accented the brush strokes and things in it, but I think that's just the shininess of it. So I think pretty much I can use this kind of paint to block out that central line and then spray it with cellulose and I'll be okay. So then it looks like that acrylic paint will be good enough to paint that stripe in. I'm not going to do it now because I need to sand the whole body first, and I don't want to just paint it and then sand it all off again. So that's that done. The next episode we're going to look at putting the head veneer on. But for now, I think that'll do for an episode. If you liked it, please press like. If you want to see more, press subscribe, and maybe I'll see you next time.